Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Hello and welcome back. Super excited to be back. Super happy that our favorite, most beloved Tawny Ray is feeling better.
I too am glad.
Yes. So today we are talking about Annihilation from 2018. But before we get into it, what are you drinking, Tawny? I was drinking something, but we've been chatting for so long. It's gone.
We have. I know. I'm almost done with mine too. I'm just drinking an Olipop.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
What about you?
I was drinking a fizz stick. So the mango is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
I love mangoes, but I drank it all while we were talking. So
yeah.
we might need to take a little break
Refill.
soon and get a refill.
Yeah.
All right. What have you been watching, reading, talking about? What's been going on with you?
Well, as you and anybody who follows our Instagram probably knows, I was sick, and I just need everybody to know how sick I was. I don't know why I feel the need, but I really just feel like I need to tell my story.
Yeah, do it. This is your space. This is a safe space for you to share your story.
Thank you. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I got. I think it was some kind of flu. Maybe it was a flu virus. I don't know how this works. Viral flu turned into a bacterial infection. I don't know what happened, but it's the sickest I've been in my entire adult life. Like, I do not remember being this sick since I was a child. It was insane. And I never get sick. And I literally 2 weeks before I got sick, I was like talking to everybody. And I talked to my manager. I was like, I have all this sick time, but I never get sick. So like, I don't know what's going to happen there. Does it roll over? Blah, 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 whatever. Totally jinxed myself. So then I got sick as fuck. Like fever. I got everything. Fever, headache, sore throat, cough, the chills, body aches. Like, it was everything. And so for 3 days I suffered. And then by the fourth day I woke up with fucking pink eye.
Fuck.
Okay. And then I was just like, I'm done. Because I couldn't sleep. I just kept coughing myself awake. It's awful. Went to the doctor. They gave me antibiotics, a cough suppressant, and antibiotic eye drops. Okay. So then it was like, okay, I got to take eye drops again because I had another eye thing. If you missed that back in December.
Yeah.
And so it was eye drop city again every 3 hours. So that also didn't help the sleeping. Couldn't sleep. So it was just like fucking miserable. And I was sick for like a week and a half?
Yeah.
Like, I finally, just yesterday, I finished my antibiotics. And today I feel like 98%. I'm still coughing a little bit of a dry cough, but it was the fucking worst. But that did leave me a lot of time and room to watch stuff, okay? Which was basically the only thing I could do. And there was even a point in my sickness where I couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't even focus on watching anything. That's how fucking miserable I was. It was just like, I just had to like sit there and be miserable. That's fucking terrible. I hope no one else gets sick like this. And if you did or you're dealing with it, I'm just sorry. So anyway, okay, what I watched Memories of Murder by Bong Joon-ho.
Ooh.
And I had sent you a message about this because I was like, I didn't realize that this was based on real murders that happened in Korea. And so that was interesting. It was a little bit slow. Like, it was, I don't know, I was having a hard time hanging in, probably also because I felt so bad. But that was good, and I recommend watching that one. I thought that was neat. I also watched, Jade and I watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and that was fun. It was a fun watch. I'm trying not to, like, I don't know, get too into any of these, really. Then I watched Nymphomaniac 1 and 2.
Oh, nice.
By our boy Lars von Trier.
Yes.
Because I've been holding on to this movie because, like, Lars, the two movies that I have watched and we've talked about, Antichrist and Melancholia. We don't have an episode on that or anything, but we just talked about it, I think, on some kind of episode. His movies feel so, like, I just get absorbed in them. like they're very they have their own feel, and they're like really intense usually, and like I just get totally lost in them and then think about them for the next like several days. So I never want to watch them because I'm like busy with life, right?
Yeah.
So I've been holding on to this movie because I'm like, I want to watch this at a point when I'm like, I need to be distracted from life. So it was like a perfect time to watch them. And it's fucking long, dude. I didn't realize both movies. Have you seen them?
Only the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both movies are like 2 hours long. So it was originally supposed to be just one. And like, I think they cut it for distribution or something, or theaters. But there's a director's cut out there somewhere that's 5 hours.
Oh
like,
my God.
There's another, like hour and a half or something hour that was cut from the movies to begin with. Anyway, I didn't watch that. I watched the regular versions, but that was a fucking journey. I don't know what to say about that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to say like I enjoyed it or that I even recommend it, but it was perfect for what I wanted it to do. Like it definitely distracted me from my like misery basically. And then I spent the next like several hours trying to like read other people's like interpretations of it and stuff. And there just wasn't much out there. Like I couldn't find many people like actually talking about it. So that was like kind of frustrating, but I was like obsessed for the next like day and a half. So there's that.
Yeah, that first one took me forever because, people kept coming into the room and I didn't want them to think I was watching porn or something. So I had to keep stopping it.
Dude, it basically is porn. I read that he had porn actors come in and have unsimulated sex, and then they like cut together basically like the actors having simulated sex with like porn actors having unsimulated sex. So yeah, basically it is. And there's like they're showing.
Oh yeah, it's
everything.
There. It's there.
Close-ups. Yeah, close-ups.
It's all there.
Very uncomfortable movie.
Yeah.
Movies.
It is.
Yeah. But anyway, so there was that. That was the most, I think, like notable thing that I watched. I also watched Girl Interrupted again. I hadn't seen that in a long time. It's good.
Yeah.
Good movie. And then I watched a bunch of just like bullshit TV because I think after watching like movies for several days, it was like I couldn't really focus, and then I was just ready to be done being sick. So I just watched like endless episodes of Hotel Hell with Gordon Ramsay and Tiny House Nation.
Oh, that's which is a fun one.
I love that show. It's so good. Yeah. Anyway, that's the never-ending fucking list of things that I watched.
That's
since we last talked.
You did some good shit there. I love it.
What about you? Anything to update, watch, listen to?
Yes.
You've been working on?
Let me pull up this list here. All right. So I saw Jurassic World Dominion and did an episode with a podcast on Elm Street, which is out if you want to go check it out. That was fun. I was sad I didn't do Jurassic Park 1 with them, because I would have loved to talk about it, because talking about this conversation actually I promise I'll be able to talk in a minute. I have like my crystal here for good communication. Talking about Jurassic World Dominion, because I won't give details, but there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped into it from the first movie, just made me remember the fucking first movie, because I saw that as a teenager in the movie theater when it came out. And it was just I've never seen anything like that before. The graphics. And so all of this came bubbling to the surface. So it was a lot of fun. But Jurassic World Dominion, since we're not going to talk about it in here, I did like it. I'm probably one of the very few, but I think it was made for me, people like me, who are so in love with the first one. So all of the callbacks, they may have been cheesy. I loved them. I ate them right up. It was super fun. We also binged and watched all of the new Narcos, because we've seen all the Narcos. So this is the new season, Narcos Mexico, wrapping. I don't know if it's wrapping that story up, but really just phenomenal acting. Get all absorbed into that show, Narcos. Really, really good. Let's see. Oh, and yesterday I was chilling. I was done with my day job work, had a real huge project I was doing for 3 weeks. It was all wrapped up. And I was like, I want to watch A Quiet Place 2 now. I've been wanting to see it for so long. And so, I mean, we may talk about it, so I won't get into it, but we watched that and Steve watched it with me. And so that was cool. And actually, TT, she was watching her iPad. She was doing something on her iPad. And she was like, Mommy, is this movie too scared? And I'm like, it was right in the beginning. And I'm like, I don't know. Look at the alien that it's here, like, because it was the beginning. And she looks and she's like, oh, whoa, that's cool. Right. And she's like, oh, that's not scarier than Jurassic Park. And I'm like, well, if you want to see if it's scary, it scares me. But she's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And she was watching it. So she watched it all the way. Was watching it on and off all the way up to a point, not long. I won't give anything away, but a character in it hurts themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah.
Like, just the aliens, like whatever. The
no
aliens
big deal.
Are picking people off. Nope. The person hurts themselves. Oh no, I can't handle that. And so then she was done. And so she didn't watch any of the other parts of it. Some of the aliens parts, she would turn around and like look at the alien. It fascinated her. But people getting hurt, not by aliens, but just in general, she's not there for that.
I fucking feel that though, TT. Like I know because I've seen this movie.
You know what
you're talking about. And that's basically like the thing that I remember from this movie.
So now
just like a couple things.
Traumatized my child. She's going to remember that forever and be scared to take walks because of it. But I'm just kidding. So yeah, we did that. I started watching Kids Behind Bars, Life or Parole, but it irritated me, so I didn't want to watch it. But it's on Hulu, I believe, and it's about kids that got life sentences. But now, since that's been overturned as unconstitutional, they have an opportunity to come up for parole. And I only watched a couple. I only watched 2, and I probably watched the worst 2, because I'm sure there's kids that have been convicted to life for maybe it being in situations where it resulted in someone dying, and maybe there is like, they shouldn't be in there for life. But I watched the 2 worst, where what the kid did when he was 16 was fucking disgusting. And they were trying to go, but he's rehabilitated. And I was just like, man, fuck this. And I turned it off. Yeah. And so last but not least, I watched all of Love on the Spectrum US.
Oh yeah.
I fucking loved it. I made my oldest watch it with me. I'm like, everyone needs to love this show. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
The only other thing, Tawny, I've been into was the kids got me very obsessed with Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
My husband bought TT a Switch with Animal Crossing. And so for a while, like every day after work, I would go in and play with them. And built, got a house with a bedroom now. And Animal Crossing has been the thing. I think I played myself out though. Now it's like the same thing. You just go and fish and all of that sort of thing. But yeah, I had a little binge of Animal Crossing.
Fun.
Yeah.
I get that. Mine was Stardew Valley. I've never played Animal Crossing, but I see the appeal.
Yeah. I paid off my house loan twice. I mean, that's very satisfying. It's very satisfying. Your little character goes, yes, I paid off my house loan. And we're like, cute. This feels amazing.
That's okay. Because it is kind of like a farming simulator, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's how Stardew Valley is too. And so it does feel very much like there was a moment in Stardew Valley where I was like, oh, I'm able to like make an income and get ahead of things and be able to upgrade my house and, buy new structures and animals. And so that also felt very satisfying. Yes. Not like real life. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I am a successful grown up in this game. Yes.
Not in real life.
No. But in the game, I've paid off 2 house loans. I've upgraded my house twice.
I can own property.
I own property. Yes.
I can save for retirement.
Yes.
I can invest in a business. Like, it's very uplifting.
Yeah, it is uplifting. All right. Should we get into this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
That was very loud. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We are talking about Annihilation from 2018. I watched it on Amazon Prime because I have that Paramount add-on thingamajigger because of Yellowstone. Director, I always have to try to find a way to plug that. The director was Alex Garland, or is. He's still alive. Alex Garland. And he directed Ex Machina and Men, which I have not seen yet.
Oh, Ex Machina.
Ex Machina and Men, which is the new
thing. I haven't seen it either.
I also noted here that he wrote The Beach, so that the novel The Beach. There's a movie, right? That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one. And then 28 Days Later, the screenplay, he wrote that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I knew his name sounded familiar, but I couldn't I didn't remember what he had done.
Machina. I didn't know that that's what it was.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So
that's a great movie.
The budget was $55 million and the box office was $43 million. I did read it went straight to Netflix and didn't go into the theater. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it 88% and IMDb 6.8 out of 10. Letterboxd 3.6 out of 5. The cast: Natalie Portman as Lena, Oscar Isaac as Oscar. Did I do that right? I feel like this is not correct. Hold on a second.
That is his name, but not his name in the movie. Right?
Is it
That's the actor's name. Oscar Isaac.
I said Oscar Isaac is Oscar. Hold on a sec.
What was his name? Kane.
Oh, it was Kane. You're right.
Yeah.
Kane. Okay. Sorry, guys. I screwed up on my notes. Oscar Isaac is Kane. Jennifer Jason Leigh as Dr. Ventress. Tessa Thompson as Josie. Gina Rodriguez as Anya. And Tuva Novotny as Cass. And then there was lots of other people too. I didn't write them down. All right. Now for 2 minutes with Tawny.
Well, I didn't write this. I stole it from Wikipedia just because I didn't have the brain power today to.
If you ever want me to read the Wikipedia summary, I could.
Oh, that's okay. I did make a two tiny changes. So, okay, turn back now if you don't want this spoiled. So, at U.S. government facility Area X, biology professor and Army vet Lena recounts her expedition to a zone called the Shimmer, which emerged 3 years ago from a nearby lighthouse after it was struck by a meteorite. Lena's husband, Kane, entered the Shimmer as part of a mission, but disappeared. He mysteriously reappears at home, but his condition quickly deteriorates. As he and Lena are en route to the hospital, they are intercepted by security forces and taken to Area X. Psychologist Dr. Ventress tells Lena that Kane, who is comatose, is the only person to ever return from the expanding Shimmer. Ventress recruits Lena for a new expedition to the lighthouse along with physicist Josie Raddick, geomorphologist Cassie Shepard, and paramedic Anya Thorensen. Lena agrees to join to help Kane, believing he accepted a suicide mission into the Shimmer because she cheated on him. After entering the Shimmer, no one in the group remembers what happened in the first 3 days. All wildlife are mutated, including a crossbred alligator that attacks Josie. At a military base, they recover a video of Kane cutting open a soldier whose intestines are moving and find the soldier's corpse overgrown by alien fungi. At night, a mutant bear kills Cass. The group then discover plants growing in human shapes, leading Josie to theorize that the Shimmer refracts information like a prism distorts light. This explains why their equipment malfunctions and the DNA of all creatures intermixes. During a paranoid frenzy, Anya hears Cass's cry for help and runs over, only to find the mutant bear that mimics Cass's dying pleas. Anya distracts the bear before it kills her and Josie shoots it. Ventress, who is revealed to have cancer, leaves the group hurriedly for the lighthouse before the Shimmer corrupts her, and Josie willfully succumbs to the refraction. In the lighthouse, Lena discovers a video camera next to a burnt corpse. The footage shows Kane telling the camera person to find her, then killing himself with a phosphorus grenade. It is revealed that the camera person also looks like Kane. Lena descends into the meteor crater and finds Ventress, who relates that the shimmer will eventually encompass and refract everything. She disintegrates into a pulsing 3D fractal that absorbs a blood droplet from Lena's face, creating a humanoid that mimics Lena's motions. Unable to hurt it and prevented by it from leaving, she tricks the humanoid into accepting a phosphorus grenade as it transforms into an identical copy of her. After activating the grenade, Lena flees, but her doppelganger does not follow. The burning doppelganger calmly and seemingly intentionally sets the lighthouse on fire. Lena watches as the shimmer collapses. At Area X, Lena tells her interrogator that the shimmer was not destroying anything, but changing everything anew. She goes to see Kane, who has since recovered, and asks if he really is Kane. He replies, "I don't think so." He asks if she really is Lena, but she does not answer. They embrace and their irises shimmer. The end.
Excellent. So, Tawny, what did you think about this movie?
I really like this movie, but I don't love it like other people love it. And I don't know why that is. Maybe through our conversation it will come up, like why that is, but it is good. I like the premise, like the ideas really interesting. And I was even thinking about like, oh, this kind of feels like The Thing in the way that this thing, whatever it is, can kind of mimic human life or other organic matter, basically. It's just like a little bit of a different take on it, I think. So I don't know. I think I just don't connect with it. Like there's nothing in particular that I like really dislike or anything. Maybe it was overhyped for me, but I don't know. It's not that I dislike it. I like it. I don't know. That's where I landed.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I really like this movie. I'm not sure if I would say, oh my God, I fucking love this movie. I'm almost there. Like I really liked it. I liked the conversation it sparked afterwards and trying to figure it out. Steve watched it with me and he really liked it as well, which the whole time I was like looking at him like, oh God, he's over this. I know he is.
Yeah, that's not usual.
No, he really liked it. He was trying to figure it out too. And he said, whatever research you come up with, don't tell me. Because I feel like what will ruin this movie for me is if it's not what we're theorizing or what we're thinking, and it's actually something else, like really basic or whatever, and it'll ruin it for him. So, which was really cool. Actually, I tried to find, there's not a lot of trivia on this. And always when I say that's because I'm looking at the IMDb trivia section and there's not a lot, at all. It's like, oh, this person was in the Marvel comics together, like stupid shit like that. But so I read different articles, and one of the things that the director always says is he never really gives away what his take on it is, because he wants everybody to interpret their take on it themselves, because it was based on the first book of the Southern Reach trilogy called Annihilation. And so he adapted it. So he read the book, but he decided not to reread it. Instead, he decided to adapt it like a dream of the book. And so as he is adapting it, is what he interprets, right? But he said something along the lines of like, but I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know as much as maybe some other people know. So maybe when they approached this book or this movie, it meant something different to them. So when people share with me what their interpretation is, I never say you're wrong. I always say that's interesting, because I don't know that I'm right in what my interpretation was. So he's always very vague about it, about what it is. And then you see a lot of stuff out there is like, this is what it is. Somebody has figured it all out and says what they think it is.
Yeah, I like that take. I mean, we talked about that in our last episode, The Thing, just like if you're going to want people to come up with their own theories and talk about it, you kind of have to set that stage and say like, I don't know, it's like whatever, it's up to you, basically. But it's interesting you say that about the book, because I did have a thought while I was watching this. I wondered the second time, because I had seen this once before, but I was like, is this feels like it's based on a book. I wonder if it's based on a book, because I thought, like, I feel like I'm missing something here, and it's the internal dialogue or explanation or thoughts about what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, that would be covered in a book.
I would like that. I would like that insight, because I feel like what I liked was like these moments of like missing time and like how bizarre and just like kind of dreamlike, I guess, it is for them going into the shimmer. But I feel like it's hard to sometimes get that across without knowing the internal, you know, conversation or how people are feeling or thinking about things. And so, you know, like you see their panic kind of come to the surface, but you don't see the inner workings of that beforehand. And I felt like I was missing that.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? Maybe I'll get this book and
Yeah.
read it, because I would love to read that. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Just more contemplation, more discussion. That, yeah, it would be really hard to put that into a movie.
Well, it felt like there were a lot of feelings that were, you know, like Ventress says, like towards the end of the movie, she's like, our bodies are disintegrating as fast as our minds. Can't you feel it? And so I was like, what does that look like? Like, what's happening inside their heads? What are they feeling or thinking? Or like, you know, because there's kind of this insinuation that they're kind of somehow merging, I guess. Maybe that's not like the right word, but because like all of this stuff is getting refracted, like, you know, you see Lena come out of the shimmer with the other girl's tattoo on her arm. Yeah. So it's like, are they kind of like absorbing each other's thoughts and feelings? Because you also get that with Kane, right? Kane is like not fully Kane at the end. He says like, I don't think so. And there's two versions of them at the end of the movie in the video camera footage. So I don't know. That would have been just like a nice ad. It's just like, are you starting to get echoes of other people like in your head, or how they feel or what they're thinking? Like that would be really interesting. But.
Yes, the echoes. So let's just say it. Okay. So there was one thing I read where the person was like, this is about cancer, and then like wrote a whole article about it being about cancer. So there's that. And I'm just going to close that one down because it wasn't as exciting.
And I'm just going
to close it. Maybe. I'm not saying it's not, but it was just like, okay, I don't know.
Definitely
not telling Steve that one, because he'll be like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
But there was this one. So the movie being about self-destruction, and on a metaphysical level, Annihilation certainly has that. Ventress and Lena even have the conversation saying how self-destruction and suicide aren't the same thing. And so talking about this whole idea of self-destruction. And then there's also this piece about, so the alien life form. This is something that interested me a lot, and Steve and I talked a lot about, but the alien life form is not aggressive. All the organic life forms, which are not aggressive, plants, animals, peaceful people, become symbiotic, and the alien life form, and they are assimilated. On the other hand, the aggressive and destructing people are annihilated. And I was thinking about Annihilation. I was thinking about this. Wouldn't we all do this? Like, we see this alien comes down, and there's the, what is it called? Not the mist, the shimmer. The shimmer is coming. Oh my God, it's going to take over the world and everything is going to be so horrible. But wouldn't we do that if we visited another planet as well? I was thinking about Pandorum and how that conversation we had about all the stuff that they brought from Earth to go and take to this new planet and assimilate this new planet. It's not like those humans are being evil. They were looking for a new place to live because their planet was destroyed. But in what we would have done is totally taken over that planet and those life forms that were on that planet, just like that alien did when they came down. It's always like they're coming down to make things better. But what better is what we're used to, what we think is better. Like if we were to come and what the fuck am I talking about? We do it here. We do it here. Like if we're, there's many different religions that will be like, okay, we are better, what we think is better, our way of life is better, and that's true to them, and then go to other cultures on this very planet and try to destroy everything that culture has and assimilate them. I mean, that's all throughout history. So it wasn't even, I liked that idea of like this alien isn't like an evil thing that needs to be destroyed. Now it's taking over our planet, but not with evil intentions. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting, different take, because normally you get like, the aggressive alien or whatever trying to, defeat or take over things. And it felt very like by chance.
Yeah, like The Quiet Place. Those things were not like just,
Right, yeah.
Well, maybe they think it would be better if there were no humans on the planet.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they're aggressive, and this is more just like a chance landing. It doesn't even feel like it was intentional to land here, like it was. Yeah.
Then there was this thing, because you're talking about the clones and stuff. Well, not really clones, but okay, I'm just going to read this thing from IMDb because I felt it was valid and interesting, but I also feel like I didn't fully understand it. So if I can. Okay. So several characters who directly interact with the Shimmer have doubles that can be identified by the Ouroboros tattoo on their arm. In 2011, a group of French scientists identified a mutation in the brown algae Ectocarpus. This organism has a two-stage life cycle, with each phase producing a different form of the organism at a genetic level. The French scientists identified a mutation, which they called Ouroboros, that allows the sporophyte phase to mimic the gamophyte phase. Okay, I know I'm feeling a little lost, but I feel like I'm right on the verge of getting it. So just listen real quick, and you could say, Felicia, that was lame if it's lame. In effect, this causes the organism to exist as a continuous gametophyte phase. This is similar to other homotic mutations that cause specific organs to mutate into different organs, such as an antenna of fruit flies can convert to become legs. However, the Ouroboros mutation affects the whole organism and not just a single organ. So they were saying, there's two of the same genetically, all the way down, like genetically two of the same thing. And so I thought that was interesting. And it says this process is similar to the refraction identified by the scientists in the Shimmer. The work falls within the scientific area of the genetic regulation of life cycle transmissions. Which is mentioned as Lena's specialism. I guess I left out a big piece. Sorry, guys. Falls within the scientific area of the genetic regulation of life cycle transmissions, which is mentioned as Lena's specialism as a biologist. So, what I gathered from that was that there is a real thing that was identified by these French scientists where this organism did create a copy of itself, and which is what happened to several of the characters, and specifically like Lena at the end, or her husband.
Yeah,
I'm just putting that out there. I don't really know what else to say about it.
I'm digging into the weeds here, but Ouroboros is, I guess I don't understand how that because you said the Ouroboros tattoo. Oh, you're just saying okay, I see what it's saying. It's just relating that's something that happened in the movie. I thought we were headed somewhere about Ouroboros in general. And so I thought that's where the snake eats its own tail.
Yes, right? Yes. No, I think they were saying that's how they depicted it in the movie, that they were replicating I thought we were headed themselves. No.
For something about Ouroboros. Okay.
Something I read about the ending with the Shimmer, because there was lots of people in the eyes, and people were like, oh, what does that mean? That the Shimmer's still alive and that it's going to, take over, or what's going to happen? It's not fully destroyed or anything about like that. And before I get into that, actually, there's something that the director said that I really liked, is regarding self-destruction, both physical and psychological. So the other thing I noticed, the thing I found sort of troubling was that there was one way of reading it that the people who went into the shimmer were self-destructive or had self-destructive tendencies particular to them. And my intention was more along the lines of the reason everyone in there is self-destructive, or that these people happen to be self-destructive, is because everybody is self-destructive. Any group of people going in there would be dealing with the same thing, if you see what I mean. It wasn't about a specific group. It was more about a general point. He goes, but you know what? I have my own interpretation or thoughts about what's going on. And if other people don't share it, or if they have their own, it's completely cool. I'm completely cool with that. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, I got that like loud and clear from the conversation that they have, where she's like, isn't it written into our code, our DNA, for us to self-destruct?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They have that conversation. You're absolutely right. Okay, so this is from Thrillist.com. I'll post the article in our Patreon, but talking about the end, that Lena still carries some of the trace of the shimmer within her, and so did Cain. And this is what Garland said. What does that mean? And he goes, that we go through deeply intense subjective experiences and are changed by them. We don't come out from these things the same as when we went in them. I guess the question I would ask is, I'm sort of tying myself in knots here, because this is the type of stuff I avoid talking about, but forget about aliens for a moment. You don't need aliens and cosmic psychedelic events in order to have a life-changing experience. And broadly speaking, something very powerful happens to us within our lives, within our health, within our marriage, within our psychology. Are we the same person on the other side of it? No, probably not. We have been changed. It's not in any way surprising that these things are transformative. Are you the same person that you were 3 years ago? Probably not. So kind of people thinking, oh, that there's something more with that shimmer in the eye, that meant maybe it was going to go, still take over. It was still alive. And he's hinting here, as you just heard, I feel like if I'm listening, if I understand correctly, that it's more like how we've changed, how this experience has forever changed us. So it doesn't necessarily mean now these two are going to go like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shimmer like, the world away.
Right. Yeah. I wondered about that, because it is sort of like, I do feel like you can read it a couple of different ways. It feels like, oh yeah, is it there in them to take over the rest of the world? Or is it just that, like you said, like there's a part of it in them that now just lives there? But I also wondered, like, are these people even the right people anymore? Again, with Cain, you kind of get the sense that he's like an amalgamation of like different people and the shimmer itself. And so same for, what's her name?
Lena.
Sorry, I don't know why I can't remember character names. But for her, she seems to remember a little bit more. Like, she's able to recount to the people when she gets back to the base or whatever, like, this is what happened, more so than Cain, right? So I feel like I couldn't tell, like, is this Lena or is it not Lena? Even if it's not the shimmer, is it like some combo of the people that she now is coming out?
Yeah, you would think you would carry all of that with you. How they were all absorbing like each other's DNA, the DNA of all the different living things within the shimmer.
Yeah.
You would come like, oh yeah. So, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there because this is one of those movies where I feel like it's a puzzle piece and I have some pieces missing, but I like that feeling. I read something, and this kind of goes along with what we're talking about right now, where there has to do a lot with change and are you what you are when you change. And there was they were talking about the ship of Theseus. I believe I'm saying it right, or probably not. And this is a story or a tale where, so for example, for this one, you take the wooden planks out of the ship and you put them in another ship and you build another ship. By the end of it, you have a perfect facsimile. Is it the ship? Or if you have a ship and you piece by piece replace pieces of it, is it still that ship or is it something completely new?
Yeah.
And then they talked about the scene inside of where she's repainting the room. The room to make it a new space. Is it a new space because you've changed? You've changed what makes up the space? Or is it the same space, just a different color? And so I feel like that ties to what we're talking about with them at the end, but it's not like, yes, I feel solid in this. I could go write a paper.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And no, it's an interesting way to think about it for sure. I see that play out throughout the movie.
Yeah. I mean, when are you not you? I mean, how much changing has to happen, or are you always you, even despite all these different changes and all the parts she's absorbed? She's, Lena just changed. When are you not Lena at all anymore?
Yeah, totally. What makes you you?
Yeah.
Interesting. I also wondered, though, because it seemed like when he came back to like life, essentially, like he pulled out of it when the shimmer went away, like, and essentially like died, quote unquote. And so then I wondered, like, does that kill off anything that they might have like merged with or something? I don't know. It felt like it just like completely wiped away the existence of that. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe if they are fundamentally changed, it doesn't undo those changes. You know?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Just question. It's just like, it just makes you wonder, you know?
Yeah. Well, something like easier to talk about was, how about visually what the filmmakers did? Like, that fucking bear was baller. That scream out of its mouth and that,
so good.
God, so good. So good.
Yeah, I think for me, there's like 3 highlights in this movie, and that's one of them, is the scary screaming bear.
Yes.
It's it's very scary. Yeah.
What's some other?
The other one is, one of them is when they find the footage. I'm just a sucker for found footage, period. Like, I just, no matter what.
Shit, we should have done found footage February.
We can.
We can.
Next year. But like, I love that scene where they find it and it's like them, and it's just so like chaotic and scary and dark, and like you see him like cut him open, and it's like all that feels so like raw and scary and real, and then they open him up and his like guts are moving. Oh, that's so disgusting. It just, that whole thing felt very horror, you know? Like, I think those are the moments that I like in this movie, is like, it does lean a little bit, I think, sci-fi, on the sci-fi end. It's obviously a sci-fi horror, but the super horror parts are my obvious favorites, which makes total sense as I'm talking it out with you. Because the last one is the end with like facing off against this thing that like is mirroring you. And like, I don't know, something about that is like really creepy. And like when she becomes her, like when she touches her and the monster like begins to morph in her, like that's really scary visually. And so those are my highlights. Yeah.
And I wonder if, because I didn't think about this until I also read the synopsis that you gave from Wikipedia. And when it said calmly and seemingly intentionally, I didn't think that at first, but I did think, there's something wrong with this thing, because it's like fucking up her whole environment.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't hit me that maybe it's intentional until I heard that synopsis. And then I thought, because when it merged with her so intimately, when it started to change, maybe some of those desires to end this, to stop it, merged with the thing. And so it self-destructed. It destroyed itself because it merged with her and had those feelings.
I like that idea, because same thing for me. I did not pick up on that at all until I was reading the thing. And I was like,
dude, stop touching everything. What the fuck?
But I was like, you're really doing a bad job here. Like, don't
go into the hole. What are you doing?
Go out to the sand or get in the water or something. Yes. You're just letting yourself die. But yeah, it makes sense that it was kind of purposeful. Do you remember, this is making me think about the conversation earlier when they were like, one of the women says like, you want to fight it. Like, I think it was like, it was like, Lena, you want to fight it, and Ventress, you want to what? What does Ventress want? Do you remember what they said there?
Oh, I don't.
Because I'm just wondering, like, maybe the thing didn't have an opportunity to merge with anybody else so intimately, like you're saying, because it didn't, like, I guess, get blood in there. But when we see Ventress at the end, it seems like she's had some quality time with this thing. So maybe whatever they said in that revealed that she did not want to destroy it.
I'm trying to see. Quote, I found it. To Lena, Ventress wants to face it. You want to fight it. That's what she says.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what it is.
And she did fully. And she was dying. I wonder if she thought it would help her. So there's this whole other piece that I did not go down to, I did not dig into, which I absolutely, now I'm regretting. I feel like I should have. And I think it's very fascinating about Henrietta Lacks. And there's a book, and I also saw a documentary, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And okay, she was an African-American woman whose cancer cells are the source of the HeLa cell line, the first immortalized human cell line and one of the most important cell lines in medical research.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I saw a documentary on this. It is extremely fascinating. It's quite a bummer because they took her blood for medical research because I believe, she had cancer. And then they did all this research and made a ton of money and had all these advancements, and she didn't get anything from it. They kind of did it without her knowledge or approval. And this cancer cells that I believe it was Ventress that was looking at the cancer cells, or maybe it was Lena, are Henrietta Lacks cancer cells. And she's also reading a book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it all ties together, but that's a very fascinating story. And if you can find the documentary, it was really, really interesting. The immortal cells. I would really just be like reading all this stuff. So definitely go look it up. But she was reading that book in the movie. Mm-hmm. And there's something there. She's referring in effect to that because she's preoccupied with that. The point is that Henrietta's cells did not have the self-destruct mechanism that cells normally have, which allowed them to be, as it were, an immortal cell line. That was the line I was looking for. So, gosh, there's so much. I really feel like I should read this book because I feel, again, there's all these pieces of the puzzle. And then I have all these pieces over here that I'm looking for their space. I'm looking for where I need to put them. Yeah. I feel like the book maybe will deliver all of that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's really interesting especially because of the blood drop. I mean,
yes,
into the thing and how that affects. And maybe there's a connection there with her cells not having the self-destructive. But I don't know. But then like when it absorbs that, it does self-destruct. I don't know. But that is like the cancer, right? Like you're taking the cancer out.
Yeah, because I wondered why Ventress was fully absorbed into that thing, and it created the there's a name for that thing it created.
Yeah,
I forget what it's
took
called.
It out because I've never heard it before, like mandelbulb or something.
Yeah,
what it was called? I was like, that was one of the tiny changes I made in the recap because I was like, nobody knows what that is.
That thing. But so why didn't it just become a copy of Ventress?
Of her.
Yeah. Why did it become that thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't either. I really loved, I loved those little deers that had tree antler heads. I loved the bear was my favorite part. I also loved the crystals in the sand, like the crystal trees. So this reminded me of Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon. So her, I know,
okay, this is quite a connection.
Such a good romance movie. Got to watch it.
I haven't seen it.
But her love interest in it, he creates these glass sculptures because when lightning hits sand, it creates glass. And then if you are in I think it's a Minecraft. You can create glass as well, in Roblox as well, by heating up sand. But so it just was like this whole, it reminded me of that, just a whole beach of lightning or whatever came down, hitting the sand and creating these bursts of this beautiful like crystal glass. Super cool. So those two movies are related.
Definitely related.
Totally related. It's all coming together now in my life, why I've seen different things. Yeah, it was so, there was one other thing that I was thinking about. Oh, the flowers that were people. I really wanted to understand that more, like what they were talking about. So like, are these plants have human DNA and so are taking human form? And then when the plants started growing out of her, I'll have to say, because me, my oldest, Steve, we all watched it, and that was probably the creepiest part. Just like the plant spores growing out of the.
It was gross looking.
Yeah, it was gross looking, gave us creepiness. But then she fully became, I just thought that was really cool and beautiful. And I loved the multicolored fungi, that just visually how, and then that man that it grew out of him, that fungi, the one. Yeah. And then it created this like grotesque but beautiful thing on the wall. I also liked the found footage. Yeah, there was a lot I really liked about this movie. I think it's just that piece of, if I fully understood it, at least to what makes sense to me, even if I don't really fully understand what the true meaning is, but I had this idea, it would be really exciting.
Yeah.
I'd feel really good about like, oh no, but this and that. But I have more questions, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe I need to read the book and also rewatch that Henrietta, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think for me, it's like, because I think what you're saying, like visually, it was really cool. There were a lot of cool ideas. Like, something just wasn't working for me. And maybe it was that, like kind of what I was saying earlier, like we kind of don't get to know what these people are thinking or feeling. And so they kind of feel disposable. Like, I don't remember even the first time I watched it being like incredibly attached to any of the people. So just as they die, it's just like, well, yeah, like saw that coming, right? Like nobody was going to make it out of here. And so I don't like care for them as much as I do in characters in other movies. And then I also like Lena as our main character, following her. But I gotta be honest, like she cheated on her husband, and I kind of just I can't get behind you, And so I kind of just, I don't know. It's like I really wanted to know what was going on, but not for her sake, like for my sake. I wanted her to get to that lighthouse because I wanted to know what was happening, not because I really super deeply cared about her and felt bad for her as a character. You know what I mean?
Yes. There was actually something I read where when they first filmed it they first showed it for the producers and stuff. I guess those are the people that would watch it and make a decision. They thought it was too confusing, too intellectual. They wanted the ending to be changed, and they wanted more put into Lena's character. They wanted her to be more likable.
Yeah.
So, but the director and whoever else makes the other decision stood by it and was like, nope, we want it as is. We want to leave it as is. But I think that really lends to, I agree, Lena, I was curious about what was going on, not fully invested in any of the characters, just curious about what was going on, and I wanted to figure it out.
Yeah, and I guess like as we're talking about it, I'm realizing also like not every character has to be a saint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to have human characters with flaws and stuff. So I'm not saying like every character has to be, 100% likable, or that people can't be likable because they made mistakes. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just something about her. I didn't really care for her.
Yeah. I mean, that's something when you watch a movie, there's somebody you want to like, even if it's the quote unquote bad person, like even if it's a really badass evil villain, you like the evil villain. It's a great character. You kind of want to have that for, at least one of the characters.
Somebody.
Yeah. Jennifer Jason Leigh
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was fine in this. They almost cast Ellen McDermott. Is that her name?
No idea.
I would have preferred it. I am just really not liking her in general. She's also in Atypical, that show with the boy's autistic. And it really bothers me. She seems wasted all the time. And I was wondering if in real life she has some sort of a addiction or something. And she seemed it in this too, just kind of always like this and talking really general. And I'm like, dude, she is like, has a pill popping addiction or something. Then I thought in this movie, I bet it's plastic surgery. I bet it is maybe too much Botox or something. Not that people shouldn't get Botox, but I have seen it where you get it a lot. And so now this is pretty much my reaction to everything, you know. She's just so, it bothers me in Atypical. And it didn't bother me to where I didn't like the movie, but I was like, oh, here's her again. Did they just wake her up from a drunken stupor? I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I also don't like her very much as an actress. Like, I feel like, and I agree for the same reasons, like she does feel very like flat acting wise. The one thing that I have seen her in that I really liked was Possessor, right? Like I think that really lended itself well to her character in Possessor. So like it worked there
for her. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel like this is the worst acting I've seen from her.
Yeah.
Like something was fucking weird, because I don't think she's actually like a bad actress necessarily, because I feel like I've seen her.
She's been acting for years. Yeah. When she was younger, like I know I've seen movies with her that I loved.
Yeah. But this was just weird. The performance was weird.
Just always came off so fucking flippant and just monotone and like, let's go and rah. And this is the first one I honestly thought maybe it was due to too much Botox or something.
Yeah.
Because there is something to that with, I'm not against plastic surgery or Botox or anything. There is something to having no expressions. I've seen it in other things where it's overdone. So I can't tell, you're not smiling. You're not like, there's literally no expression that's coming from you. And this was definitely something, I don't care how determined you were. And I don't care if you had cancer and knew you were going to die. You would still have some fucking type of emotion in this type of a situation.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that Jennifer Jason Leigh thing out of my system. Jennifer, stop taking the pills, stop drinking, or stop the Botox. I don't know which one it is.
Whatever it
is. Just stop. I can't stand her character in Atypical. I love everybody else, but her character, I absolutely hate.
Didn't we watch something recently with her in it?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, we did.
What was it? Like more recent than Possessor. Because we definitely did Possessor, but.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember her in Single White Female, and it was great. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. She's been in a lot of great movies. I'm looking. Yeah, Dolores Claiborne. She was young. Oh, shit. She was in The Hitcher. Okay, I'm going to calm down for a second. These are all. Oh, she was in Rush. Okay, these are all movies that I grew up with. And that's why I remember her being so good. But okay, yeah, there's Possessor. I'm trying to find.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that's ringing a bell here. It must have been. I wonder if it was Possessor. And I mean, I did think about too that she is in The Hateful Eight, which we did just talk about in our The Thing episode. So like maybe I was thinking of that. But.
Yeah. I do feel like there was something else though, because I've never seen The Hateful Eight, but I'm not remembering.
Yeah. Anyway. It's cool. I'll dislike her with you.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you, Jennifer, for bonding me and Tawny a little bit more.
I have my own bone to pick. Can I add it?
Yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Something about this music just did not work for me until the very end, when there's like, and I feel like people really like this. Like I've seen a lot of people talk and comment about the music at the end of the movie, like when she encounters the thing. That is great. I like that, like really kind of like, I don't know what to call it, but it's like this weird, like bassy thing happening. I just don't know why they didn't pull that through the rest of the movie. For the first 75% of the movie, we just keep getting this same like kind of somber like guitar riff, you know? Like, and it didn't feel like it fit to me. Like I was like, why are we this doesn't feel, I don't know. It just, the feel was off for me. Like, this is sci-fi horror. Why do I feel like I'm like going out to camp. You know what I don't know. It was just something about it wasn't fucking happening.
Roasted
and I was like,
marshmallows.
why wouldn't you pull the great soundtrack and that like score at the very end through the rest of the movie? I guess it kind of delineates like when she's interacting with the creature. So that's nice, but I wish they would have lost that fucking kumbaya shit. I don't know, get it out of here.
Oh, I have to go back to see it because I watched it like a couple weeks ago, right? When we were going to record a couple weeks ago, and I didn't rewatch it since. So I don't remember the music.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm going to hate it with you, though.
Okay, thanks.
Can you imagine if this actually happened and it was killed, but how forever you would be changed knowing that, well, we now know for sure some shit lives out in space and is able to travel here. I think we all assume there's other life forms in space, but that it's able to travel here.
Yeah.
And get here and what it can do.
Yeah, there's like a lot of fucking questions. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Where did it come from? Did it mean to come here? What was it really trying to do? You know, you kind of make your assumptions. She says, like, I don't think it was trying to destroy anything. But, like, do you really know that? Like, what? You know what I mean? And then what else is out there? If this exists, I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
What else? That's terrifying.
So terrifying. Maybe this thing, wasn't even trying to... Yeah, I really don't think it was trying to destroy anything. It almost was trying, maybe not even assimilate our world to it, but assimilate to our world, and this is the only way it knew how.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Huh. I really like that aspect of it, I think, the most, is this being and it trying to assimilate us and how it was destroying us. I guess our version of us, what we think is destroyed, is being destroyed. Right? Because that girl turned into that plant woman. She really liked that idea.
Yeah, she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna plant out over here.
Yeah, okay? She was happy with that. And then thinking how we do that, how we go and change other people. And I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely not like a bad movie by any means. It's really an interesting addition to sci-fi horror.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Well, do you have anything else you want to share about this bad boy?
No, nothing for me.
There's nothing for me either. So are we ready to rate it? All right. So, Tawny, what do you think? What is your score for this movie?
Okay, I think I'm going to give this one a 3.25. All
right. Good, Tawny, utilizing the double digits.
That probably seems low, but again, I don't connect with this movie as much as what other people do. Like, for some reason, my theories are what we talked about, but I gave Unfriended a 3.25 and The Cube 3.25. I think I liked it more than a 3, but like, not much more than that. You know, I couldn't go up to like a 3.5. I like those movies better, I think. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you?
I like it. I like it a lot. I am going to give it a 4.
Okay.
I love the alien aspect, the consciousness aspect, I like all the questions. I liked the visuals of it as well. And it makes me want to read more and learn more and like try to figure it out more. I really enjoyed this movie. So 4.
I think your research talked me up a little bit too.
Nice.
Just for the record. Like, I liked our conversation about it and like all the different aspects that kind of like weave together as themes in the movie. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. That was a win for you.
Yeah, it was a win for me. I was really excited to talk about it. All right. So next week, we don't know what we're watching because we're going to be watching the Patreon pick. So we're very excited. And so we hope you like it too. Yeah. I had this whole spiel about it. And Tawny was like, well, wait a second. They're already going to have voted. And you're totally right. So we'll see. You will already know because you could go to our Instagram and see what it is. Yeah. Super fun. Let's go. Go ahead.
exciting thing about this, just to interject.
Sorry. Oh my God, I'm such a lame-o. Interject, yes.
This is our 100th episode.
Whoop, whoop. The Patreon pick will be our 100th episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're picking our 100th episode.
Yay, we're excited.
And you know what's really cool about this month for me? I am realizing how much I love sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of this as I think it's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this whole month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also this month, is it this month actually? Is it it's our...
So, yes.
Yeah.
What
am I trying to say?
Yeah.
It's our anniversary.
Our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Right? For Two Chicks and a Horror Flick will be on the 27th of June. So this coming Monday. Monday. When you're listening to this, this past Monday.
Yeah, this past.
But we'll post about that. Yeah, thank you. Tawny's keeping me on track. 2 years.
Woohoo.
It's 2, not 3? Yeah, 2. 2020, 2022. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, 100th episode, 2 years, all coinciding. Also, we forgot to mention this, but we did The Thing as our last episode, and it is the 40th anniversary of The Thing this month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Totally forgot to say something about it, but yeah.
Wow.
They re-released in theaters, so you could go and watch the 40th anniversary. I don't know if it's still going on. It might be finishing up here, but
that is very cool. Look at all this stuff that aligned that we didn't know aligned.
I know,
it's just aligned.
Weird when it happens like that.
Yeah,
so.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm forgetting?
Nope.
All right.
That's it.
So go check us out at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick on Instagram or twochicksandahorrorflick.com. From both of those places, you can find links to episodes, to other social media platforms, to merch if you would like to buy some merch, and to our horror community on Discord I stuttered there for a minute. On Discord that we love so much. And what else, Tawny?
You can support this show by going to our Patreon or giving us a review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. So have a good night. No nightmares!